Hi, Sam here from Canwi, Financial Literacy Lead. Today I'm going to go over a new feature we've just released and I'm super excited for. It's Monte Carlo simulations, or a way to measure chance of success with your plans. So instead of using a fixed rate of return or for fixed inflation or for the stock market, this is a way to introduce that variability and simulate the markets going up and down, or inflation going up and down, or interest rates going up and down. It's not reflective of the actual market returns, but it's more of a simulation of some of the extremes that some of the returns in the market that you could see. It's in this in your Explore tab under Chance of Success. I'm going to go through how you could set this up from scratch. We've got a plan here. There's nothing in it. We've got Monte here because it's for Monte Carlo. And we're just going to emulate the 4% withdrawal with $1 million in super. So the 4% rule is a rule in the financial independence space that says that it's a rough rule of thumb, that if you've got more than 25 times your annual expenses invested, you've got a relatively low chance of running out of that money adjusted for inflation over a 30-year retirement period. So we're going to try and put that to the test with the Canwi platform and with things like the Australian pension, age pension included. So let's set up our asset first. We'll add the super. And we are just going to assign that one to Monty. We'll give that a nice big number. We'll emulate annual growth of a balanced, because Monty's actively using this one for retirement. And we don't want a super risky asset in there at the moment. And we're going to add some expenses. We're going to add about 40k per year. So we're going to delete that one. Let's add, we'll just call this one stuff, because I can't be bothered changing it at the moment. And I think 334 should give us close to, about $40,000 a year in expenses. We're just going to add a retire event. I'll call this Monty's retirement. And we are going to do a 4%, aim for that 4% withdrawal over time. And let's add that one in. So if we go to Chance of Success now, we can now give that one a run with, and we'll give that a number. We're just going to use the default numbers that are included for now, and we will explore tweaking them in some future runs. This will take a little bit of time to run. These simulations actually run server-side, as opposed to a lot of the plan builder maths runs client-side. So we can see we've got a 60% chance here for Monty's current plan. And if you go and have a hover over some of the cash balances, we can see it's just more in the early years. There are some negative cash flow scenarios just in the bottom 10%. So I think we can use that information to tweak how Monty's profile is set up. So I think for money flows, we've got our edit cash flow will go into savings, but let's give a little bit of a cash buffer. Let's add a cash account, and we'll call this one savings. We will call this one savings, and we'll just have $5,000 in there and a 5% interest rate, and we'll just set this one as the default savings so that there is a cash flow buffer. But we'll also set up our money flows as well, so that money flows, all of the spare cash now goes into savings. We'll save that one, and we'll see how that one goes. So we're going to do a new run. And this is with the cash account, and we'll just call this one run 2 with a cash account, and we'll just run that one and see what numbers we get for Monty here, because I think this should improve the general chance of success. So before we were about 60 and now we're about 81, and if we have a look through, it just seems to be we've still got some negative numbers. Okay, and I think the way we can fix that is with our shortfall funding. So if we have a customized shortfall funding and we're going to add a withdrawal from super in this one, and we'll also just draw from savings. So we'll draw from savings first and then we'll draw from super. Let's save that priority. And now let's see how our chance of success comes out. So this is with money flows from super, and this is run 3. And we'll see if that improves the overall odds for this plan here. So there we go, we're now at 100%. Now, if you do get 100% success rate, it means there's probably a little bit more tweaking you could do, or a little bit more optimization with how your plan works in general. Because this means for all outcomes, you are always going to, or all simulated outcomes, rarely going to go negative. So now, what happens if, say, Monty wants to travel a little bit earlier on in his retirement? Because at the moment, if we go into Plan Builder, we have stuff kicking in and pension age. It's not getting any benefits from that, but super's going well, and we've got some cash savings. So let's just add, let's add a holiday event. Let's say Monty is going to, spend the next 10 years maybe spending, we're going to adjust that for inflation, set as a recurring event, not every 10 years, every year until 70. So he's just going to spend an extra 30k per year on travel over the next little bit. So what's happened to my money flows? Let's give this a quick refresh. And that's still got the money flows there. So if we go into Plan Builder, that's looking a little better. And let's see if that reduces the chance of success for Monty. So we've got the money flows all set up now, and so now we're going to do with 30k holidays for 10 years. And we'll call this one run 4. We'll run that simulation and see what comes out for Monty here. I think this might be spending a little too aggressively, but here we go. We've got a 98% success rate, even just going on 30k expenses per year. And if we now go into Plan Builder, and I think we can see that at 67, if we go into government benefits, he's now starting to get some of the pension calculations from the age of 67, and that seems to be able to add to that general buffer. But I can see here we're using the non-homeowner asset test. So I haven't given Monty here a home. Let's give him an apartment and see if that changes the chance of success, because we'll be using a different calculation for the pension. So we will add, we'll just add an apartment, and it'll be owned by Monty. 600,000. Say it was bought this year, and it's currently worth 600,000. We're just going to set annual growth rate of 3.3%, which is closer to the unit return rate in Sydney. We're going to mark this as the main residence, and we'll save that. We won't add any debt to that, we'll just assume it's all paid off. But let's see if the main residency asset test changes the success rate for this plan. So we are going to and I'm up to run 6. Let's run that simulation. Oh, run 5. I've jumped ahead. Missed a number there. So we've still got a 96% success rate with that one. Another thing we could look into is if we were to do a new run, but we want to actually tweak some of these advanced settings. So the way these settings work, you have the average or the mean, and you have volatility, which is the standard deviation. So a standard deviation says that 68% of all of those results will sit within one deviation, and about 95% of the values will be within two standard deviations. So that means that for this for this plan, if the average inflation is 2.5, it means that 95% of all of the numbers we use are plus or minus 3%. So this could be down to negative 0.3. We don't have a min clamp on that one, which I guess is more of a, instead of there being inflation, there's deflation, which is still a valid scenario to consider. We have wage growth, but we're just going to switch that one off because we have no income for this one. Our interest rate, we're just got a volatility of 2 for that one. And for our asset growth, this one is more for like high growth assets, which is, it's just the one we've set to default. But if you have a look at like maybe a balanced super here, you can see that the standard deviation tends to be around 7%. So we're going to tweak this one to 7% in this plan and see how that changes. So reducing the range of the simulation might increase the odds of this one coming out successfully. Okay, we're now back at 100%. So that means what we've got configured so far, which is drawdown. It's almost drawdown. It's 7%. What happens if we increase that to like drawdown 8% over the first 10 years? So we're just going to increase the expenses here. So instead of it being 3334, let's edit that one to, I think I'll just get up my calculator, and we'll do 50,000 divided by 12. It's 4167. So 4167. And now we can see that the expenses are now 50k per year. If you have a look at our plan builder, that's still looking good. We don't accidentally run out of money towards the end of that plan. And let's run that again. But this is with 50k of expenses. And we are going to switch off that wage growth again, and we're going to change the volatility back to 7% for that asset because it's not high growth, it's a little bit more conservative. And we'll run that one and see how we go. And I didn't number the run correctly on this one. But there we go. So we've got an 81% chance of success. And so we can see towards the end of the plan, in the bottom 10%, there is a chance of money getting a bit tight. But with this, this shows that the starting off with the 4% rule, when you have things like the pension kicking in and other support structures, shows that there's a 4 in 5 chance of success with having an 8% drawdown because we've got 80k coming out per year adjusted for inflation. So it's 8% for 10 years and then 5% withdrawal from there. Oh, there is another thing I can also tweak. So instead of doing, this one's a fixed target age percentage, if we change that to minimum withdrawals, and then see if that changes the plan as well. So we're going to go in, we're going to run another chance of success, and this one's going to be a new run. Again, we'll do the advance, and this is with minimum withdrawals. Minimum withdrawals from super. I think this, I'm just going to call this run 8 for now. We'll switch off the wage growth one and change that volatility back to 7. And if we run that one now, we'll see if changing the, I misspelled minimum. Yes, I did misspell minimum. But there we go. That's now increased the chance just by changing the withdrawal strategy from super has increased the odds to 90%. So this plan with 8% withdrawal for the first 10 years and then 5% withdrawal still has a pretty high success rate. If I go to cash balances now, and you just like there's only really towards like maybe the age of 89 or 90 in some of those worst case scenarios that we're seeing like some negative cash balances. So with Monte Carlo simulations, it allows you to give you a chance of success, to tweak your plan and to iterate and see how different permutations of your plan can work over time. Thank you.